We are here. So we're gonna can give you guys my technical and show if you can hear everything because I am chippy. So how was that? I mean, hear you.
Super choppy. I had muted the mic. No, you're going in and out. Technical difficulties as per usual.
I'm not at home. I'm clearly in a been safe. I'm not driving, but I'm on family leave to start the broadcast and to ask questions as B to get patient.
So, just in case you guys did not catch KP, he's having technical difficulties. It's not me this time, it's him. He's up in the DMV area. So, I don't know if it's the area or if it's just him streaming from his phone. So, he is having some issues. Elena is not with us today because she has a really big meeting, so congrats to her on that. So I don't know how long the broadcast today is going to be. However, we will try to keep it going as per usual. KP will chime in or chop in whenever he can, uh, because if it gets too bad, I'm gonna cut him off, y'all. KP, do you want to attempt to say something? Throw something in there.
Yeah, I can ask the question. You have the questions in front of you, so I ask them. But like you said, we could just have fun with it.
Have fun. Look, yeah, because we're gonna have to freestyle the whole thing because the connection is awful. Okay, so I do have the questions in front of me, but if you want to ask, just keep the same momentum that we always have. Did you turn your camera off or did you lose signal, sir?
I turned it off so I can go get on my phone, so I can only do. But you can hear me, right?
I can hear you. Actually, I can hear you a little bit better with your camera off. But
you want to get KP and get more camera free.
Get what? You said get what? Get with KP? Like I don't.
More bandwidth with camera free.
I'm on. What kind of phone you got? Like I'm gonna need you to upgrade real quick.
All right.
Since you always going in on me for my state and my phone. Do better, Kenzel.
Hold up. And in the car, I got things to do. That's why I got places I'm handling business. I got two more things to do. But you guys are important because Shanice kidnapped herself. So I had to come be a shipment or what's the people that
I'm really struggling to hear you. Turn the camera off. Go back off. Look, there you go. Now what? What's
damn.
I didn't hear anything. It's that bad.
Right. That's the
I'm like freestyling.
I don't want everybody hearing the podcast. So first we can, if you guys can hear me if you can't. What should I focus on increasing my credit score?
What should you focus on when increasing your credit score? The payments. If you have any accounts, auto loans, credit cards, focus on that. Focus on making your payments because, you know, when you're if I'm gonna say if you have had a stint in the past, focus on making all of the on-time payments going forward. If you want to apply for anything, because if you're increasing your score, obviously the intention is to get something, whether it's a house or a car or a new credit card, something like that. Focus on making all of your payments on time. Lenders typically look at the last 24 months for anything like that. So about 2 years, I want to say 3. Late payments don't have as harsh an effect after 24 months. So just focus on making all of your payments every single month on time. I'm a heavy advocate for auto pay. And then just doing like either quarterly or monthly reviews of all of your accounts and stuff like that.
Great. You guys can still hear me. I'm pushing. Still. So yeah, I feel long answers if you can't. Can you hear me?
I can kind of hear you. You're chopping in and out, but I'm used to dealing with you and when your signal is dropping, so I can kind of pick up some of the words. Are you asking the next, I guess, question?
Giving my
or are you giving insight?
To this. I was. So, I mean, I was. It was said, increasing your credit score depends on your, if you are credit profile, then utilization and age counts, but the total of counts typically lowering your age. Added as a bunch of AU lenders. You don't want to make just being added as an authorized. If you have nothing there, you just want to focus on putting positive things, not negative. More credit cards. More. I'm not pushing anybody to get a. If you can have your rental payment, that's very good. Just getting to your account. Making sure he's 100%. If it's getting those late payments removed, if you got anything over 10 increase remove it. It's a bunch of
so look, so I don't know because I can barely hear what you're saying, but I know what you're saying because obviously, good tips. But as far as adding the rental history, that is good until it's time to buy a house. If you plan on having your rental payments added to your credit history, add it and then stop it maybe a month or 2 before you apply for a home, because you don't want that income to be counted against you, right? So that is good if you're just building, if your intention is to get a car or get a credit card, because obviously it gives you credit age, depending on what rent reporter you go to. I think it's one called Rent Reporter. It will give you 2 years. So that's good if you're going for an auto loan or a credit card. But when it comes to a home, stop that before you apply, because you don't want your debt to income to be higher than it should be. You just don't want things counted, that could potentially, deny you, or, you end up messing up, not really messing up, but, them telling you to come back later on, once it's not there anymore. So, other than that, KP said, don't focus on Don't focus on the negative so much. Always good positive payment history going forward. Banks are aware that people use authorized users as a means to boost their credit. So depending on the scoring model they pay attention to, they may, take off all of the AU accounts. So be very selective and minimize AU accounts. But yeah, so that's kind of what he was saying, y'all. But he was chopping up. I don't know if y'all caught that, or maybe it's just me. Maybe it's my Missouri signal. And
Missouri.
Look here.
All right.
I know.
So how to keep? I mean, that one's super simple. Good credit.
Look, what I want to say, I don't think I can say it on a live, but pay your bills. Make sure you're making your on-time payments. That's the only way to keep it. Make sure you're also reviewing your credit report. In the event that you get denied for something, it doesn't necessarily mean that your score is bad or something like that, but it could be something negative on your profile. Every time you get a denial, look at, you can pull your credit for free on annualcreditreport.com, see what's there, and then use that denial letter to kind of fix whatever you got to fix. And in 30 days, you can go back, reapply, same inquiry. You don't get a new inquiry for that. So just keep on focusing on monitoring your credit and maintaining good payment history.
Good. Pay on time all the time. This one talked about this. Everybody's gonna. This isn't a question to me. It says, what is your format used to negative false item on?
Okay, are you asking me to answer it, or are you, because like I don't know if you're trying to answer it and your signal is just choppy.
Well, yeah, it was to me opinionated. For me, my answer, there is no best method. It all depends on your profile and achieve to which method you even want to use. You're breaking up, KP. God.
Yes, yeah, you guys. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm trying to wing it for you guys so that y'all can catch it or whatever. He is chopping up. It's the signal. I don't know if it's where he is or if it's because he's streaming for the first time on his cell phone. So he's using internet access. He has a really low connection with Restream today. I don't know why. He typically don't have these issues. But the question that or I guess the statement that he's asking, it's a question, but I don't know why. Punctuation, KP, do better. The question is the best letter format used to dispute any negative false item on your credit report. So I'm going to answer this because until KP fix whatever he got going on over there. Everybody has a different way of disputing items on their credit report. Just because it's negative does not necessarily mean that it's false. And I think the perception surrounding this question is very like kind of goes with the industry. Like this is why credit repair gets such a bad reputation, because people just assume that if it's a negative item that is false. It can be a negative item and it can be false, but just because it's negative doesn't necessarily mean that it's false. You can do factual. Factual works. Obviously, you're using the actual facts on the report. The place where you're getting the information absolutely will matter more than, more often than not. And I never hear people talk about it unless they run into like the factual disputing arena, right? So if you're doing softwares, chances are you're not using these methods. You're not going to annualcreditreport.com to pull the actual credit reports. And that's where you find all your violations. That's where you find all your errors and stuff like that. So if you're using like Smart Credit or Identity IQ or any of those, you might want to stick with a software that's going to help you, you know, create a letter or something like that. But if you're doing factual, you want to use the actual credit reports from the actual credit bureaus. And then look and see if there's any inaccurate information and true inaccurate information. Not, I got a repo, so let me just factual dispute, like, you know. And another thing I want you guys to keep in mind, disputing the date opened or looking for these common fields that people tell you guys to dispute. Credit bureaus have reporting agreements, okay? So every credit bureau has something different that they have to report, and it makes it their standard, which is why when people say, oh, credit reports are supposed to be 100% accurate, you know, it's not going to be 100% accurate. It's going to be the maximum accuracy, right? So get the real reports, match it to the creditor information, and that's how you find inaccurate, false information. You can do factual disputing. It doesn't cost you anything. That's my preferred method. It's how I sue credit bureaus and stuff like that. You know, I'm actually looking for true errors. So for me personally, I'm going to recommend factual. There are some really great softwares. Some of them I have not tested at all, but if you want to just go in straight for the deletion, find a software that works with your mindset or your ultimate goal, whatever that is. Okay. That's how we answer that question personally. So it's really going to be up to the user. Are you on Wi-Fi? You sound better.
Wi-Fi. Stop past the Dunkin' Donut. They got free Wi-Fi. We on Wi-Fi, baby.
You're still chopping up.
Oh, so
I'm gonna need Dunkin' Donuts to do a little better.
right,
You sound a little bit better though.
Maybe it's better.
Kinda.
Right.
A little bit.
Well, I apologize, and I'm not gonna keep apologizing. Technical.
Yeah, keep doing that.
All right, but yeah. So yeah, you just touched on it. That's what I buy. It's opinion based. Like you have your opinion, and I'll always stick with your opinion. We know that there's that have different opinions. We have are heavy in the metro. They want to use Metro too. They don't want to use anything like that. That's have the people that are in scamming. We hate sweeping everything, quote unquote, temporary. But that's what they stand to. That only will do. And then you have people like us that everything. You're making a face. You made a.
Because you're chopping up. I heard sweeps. I heard Metro too. I heard, you know, it's real choppy. I'm trying to piece together. My brain is trying to piece together what you're saying. It's bad, KP. Like, I feel like I'm the star of the show today.
I that before you started. I was just so you wouldn't be by yourself anymore. So
this thing would have been over 5 minutes ago. Like I would have been on and been like, all right, y'all, ain't nobody here. These are the questions. I'm out.
That one TikTok, y'all.
Yeah, that would have been me. I would have been, this is it. We done. It's over. So, you know, bless you for your technical difficulties.
Question. The next one. And wish I got any in the chat. We can. How long to rebuild your credit using your technique to? So that's to you, Shanice.
Rebuilding. So rebuilding, I'm just going to say rebuilding because I'm assuming that they're not talking about anything else. Using my technique, adding trade lines that are primary trade lines, until it reports. It really just depends on, I guess, what the ultimate goal is and how high they want to go and, what items are falling off in the repair process. But strictly for rebuilding, I'm going to say anywhere from 6 months to a year. On the long side, I've had some people get to where they want it to be score wise in 90 days. But I mean, that's going to be user specific. That's not going to be like a blanket. I'll say 90 days to a year to get to where they want to be.
For me,
Look, I got
it's funny because I just I did this yesterday. You kind of said that in your explanation. It was because I can't predict. I might send off one, might get everything deleted, but it has happened before. I might next month, in the third a single thing deleted. It all depends on factors that are beyond my control, whether or not I receive it, the debt collecting things like they're supposed to. If it's so many items. Us just sending and uploading, not give you. I don't even want to give you because now you're that puts me in that window. Is not one is not okay because AP says 6 months, and we still got a few items. You're mad at me,
so just in case you guys didn't catch what KP is saying, he basically is answering this question. The question is, how long does it take to normally rebuild your credit using your technique to rebuild it? I'm gonna always say it's gonna vary. KP basically said he doesn't like to give his clients or somebody who would ask this question a specific time frame, because what it does is it creates this unrealistic expectation, and it kind of, that's what people stick to. So if somebody tells you, oh well, I've seen improvement in 90 days, people don't care about what you said on the long end. They're going to stick to just that 90 days. So, oh, it's only going to take me 90 days to get credit improvement, not taking into consideration that their credit profile might be jacked all the way up. We don't know until we go in and see, and it's realistically until we if they've had like a previous disputing history, it's going to be a little more difficult. So me saying, hey, I've had people take 90 days. I've had people take a year, some people 18 months, giving it the expectation up front for a lot of people, it creates an unrealistic amount of pressure for the business owner and for the client. So even though it's nice to have something in mind, you really have to go with whatever your credit profile is doing. And if you've had previous dispute history, you've been with another company, when you hire a new company, we don't know what has been done in the past, right? So we don't know if they did Metro 2. We don't know if they did factual. We don't know if, what's been done. If there are errors and you had a company who didn't know what they were doing, you guys may have lost your best opportunity by hiring somebody who is inexperienced or whatever. And and the item might not come off, so now you have all of this pressure on this new company, and it's just like, don't do that to yourself. So, KP, I don't know what you're doing with the screen, but
so when you
it's gonna vary, you guys, it's gonna vary user to user. So that's a really hard question to ask. Me personally, I've seen good profiles, that are easy, and I've seen really difficult ones who have been with umpteenth companies, and then they finally hired me. And sometimes I won't even take a client on if they've been with, another credit repair organization. I'll give them a DIY to help them That's my preferred method, just because the expectations are really unrealistic. And I mean, it's borderlining on, in order to get these items removed, you probably have to do something that you legally shouldn't be able to do. I'm not putting myself or my company at risk for that. So
if you give me a time, you as a client, I put it like that.
exactly.
That popped up. How can the credit card interest rate if I've all time?
What question are you reading? I don't have that question. What?
It's in the chat.
Oh, look, I can't see the chat because I got my computer pulled up for these little questions right here. What's the? And then you're chopped up so bad, I don't know what you're saying.
It's on the screen. You can't see.
Kenzel, this is like Restream when it's on your phone. It's so little. It's like I see white lines across the bottom. It looks like a border.
I'm gonna read it slowly if I chop. And the credit card raised my if I've always on time.
I'm just gonna find the chat, like, because is this on your page? Because I can't hear you. I apologize, you guys. This is truly difficult for me today because,
Can anybody screen
zoom in?
Type it so Sharnice can, because I don't know. What is he?
So how can a credit card company raise your interest? Did that actually happen to somebody?
I don't know, but it just sounds illegal.
Like that's I don't know if that's a thing. If that's I don't know. I think I would have to see that, because I've never heard of the credit card interest being raised. I mean, are you saying like, yeah, I don't know how to answer that, because I've never heard that before. A credit card raising the interest. Is the interest going up every month because the utilization is high?
Well, I have an explanation for it, but I do my clients, we got them apart. When they rate was 8%. Apple, applications, it said the engine, and then the interest rate is like 9. And it was just your interest rate. Reading it now, and this is actually happened. The legalities of that, but I know specific client that has that happened.
So like I'm trying to think, like an intro rate can be one thing, and then, but I've typically heard of those being like 0%, and then it going, after the period is over 6 months or a year or 18 months, whatever it is, then the interest kicking in. But the interest rate changing, a contract is a contract. So before you sign for the credit card, did you read what the terms are? And I know nobody does that, you know what I mean? But like, if it's not in the contract, I'd be on the phone with an attorney, me personally. But again, y'all, I like to sue. I sue everybody. I will sue anybody. I don't care. But yeah, if it's not in the contract, then I would consider that consumer abuse, and I'd be talking to an attorney. The only way that I can see that happening is like, realistically, like the intro period is over though, like, and so now it has interest, or you're out of that. So I don't know. That was a weird question. KP, look, I don't know where all the questions are coming in at, because I'm not restreaming on my computer. So I can't see the next comment. So I just saw a credit question. Are you talking? So anyway, so I don't know if you're talking. So Marcus just said that he has a derogatory remark or a derogatory mark from a rental property, and he realized that it's been on his credit from like 4 years ago. At this point, it's giving you credit age. So you can either do one of two things. You can either let it fall off in the next couple years, or you can dispute it, and hopefully you don't fall into the hopefully you don't fall into like that category where they start re-aging your account. Hopefully that's not the thing. Legally, they're not supposed to be able to do that, but I've seen it happen.
Can you hear me?
What? I can hear you.
I'm sorry. I think I
Are you cool? Anyway, Marcus, it's been about 4 years, giving you credit age at this point. So if you delete the account, depending on what's on your credit age is going to change, and it's just going to average out. That may go up, it may go down. I've seen some people who dispute older accounts and the credit score goes down because once it gets removed, it changes the credit age, or in a lot of cases it reduces the credit age. So if I were you, I would personally, I mean, what's the remark? Is it an eviction? You know what I mean? Like if that's the case, I would make sure that the account is settled. I would do a pay to delete. And just get it out. There are rental bureaus where you can get all of that stuff removed or whatever, get it out of the system, so that if you go and apply for an apartment in the future, you won't have as much difficulty. I'm not gonna say you can block those accounts, but you can stop where they're getting the information from if you believe that there might be a true error on the report. Now, if you have proof, if it's not an eviction or anything like that or whatever, you can get it removed. If not, sue. And I'm always going to say sue. Whenever I get wronged or I'm wronged, that's my go-to method. But look for actual errors. Chances are there are errors that are there. Just make sure you go through your credit profile so that you can really pay attention to the payment history and then see what's there. I mean, negative accounts tend to have errors, but you have to know what you're looking for. Go to annualcreditreport.com though to pull your credit report. And then if it's a small balance, you can pay to delete it and it goes away. Or if you have an error, it's kind of, the ball is in your park as far as that goes. Self count, and it's in its second year. Do you have the self credit card, or do you still have the Marcus? Okay, so the question Marcus asked was, how should he go about it? So if it's for the for the rental property, check the rental history bureaus or whatever. I'll give you a list if you send me a message so that you can check those, but still pull your credit report from the main three. And then as far as your self account, if you have the self credit card, it goes unsecured after the installment account closes. So I think it's like every month it goes up in increments, like $25, $50 or something like that. So when you close the account, you'll get all of your money back minus the unsecured portion of it. So just keep paying the bill. Make sure the utilization at the end of the month is paid on time, because self reports on the very last day of the month. So whatever your balance is for that day, that's what is going to report to the credit bureaus. Keep on making sure you're making your payments, pay your balance down to 1%. And then after the credit card will continue to increase every single month. I don't know if there's a limit on that, but I do know that it goes unsecured. KP, are you trying to jump back in, or I got his second question?
I left the Wi-Fi. All right. What was his second?
So the second question was, how should he go about it? And he has a self card and account that's in the second year. So did you miss that whole portion?
No, just it when the Wi-Fi had cut off.
It's just so choppy.
He's trying to eat it.
No, you're choppy.
I said, is he trying to get the account? All right, I'm dead.
Like, I don't know what you want me to say. He don't have the card anymore. Okay. So if Self won't reopen the card for you, then that's kind of going to be a lost cause. I would go with Open Sky. Personally, I would use something that's secured, where you have to use your own money to put it up or whatever. I know some people like to recommend. I'm just going to recommend Open Sky. Start there. You have an account but no card. So you have the installment. You have the installment account, like where you're paying every single month. My bad, I'm not looking at the phone, you guys. I'm trying to like do both. So like I'm not just great at multitasking and like handling all of this by myself. But okay, so if you have the installment account, just keep on making the payments on time. As far as the Self card goes, I would go back. They're probably you can't ask them to remove late payments and stuff like that were actually that are legit. So you kind of gonna have to play the waiting game with that one. As far as the Self account credit card goes, they talk to somebody in management. As a matter of fact, see if there's a way that you can get it reversed, especially because you don't have like a balance or anything with them. You know, you can always talk to somebody. Always try to deal with somebody in like a reconsideration line. Obviously, it's Austin Bank, so try to reach some type of executive, explain the situation, see if they will, you know, have some type of terms. I don't know if this is a possibility, but this is what I personally would try. Especially because you still have an account with them. So, you know, if it's just not the credit card, you know, obviously you want to get the credit card if you can, you know, ease them back into that. I mean, if you're a smooth talker, like I'm not, you might have a better chance. I just cry a lot to executives. And, you know, I don't know. So I guess some people feel sorry. They're like, oh my God, you know, I have a life, you know, emergency almost all the time. So yeah, try a bank executive and see if it's possible, or if they say, you know, see what the terms are, if you have to meet like a certain requirement to get access to the credit card again. It might not be a lost cause, but it don't hurt to ask.
I would. Did you hear me?
I didn't hear you. What?
I could contribute.
What was that? You're chopping.
Read. Last.
Okay. Look, I think you said last question, but so let me go back to that screen. Okay. How to get the student loans off your credit and hard inquiries. Hard inquiries, That's a complicated question for me. Hard inquiries can get you paid, so I typically don't remove them. Um, I have a different strategy in mind whenever I handle my personal credit or a family members or a clients or something like that. It's not something that I personally pursue, but I guess there's a lot of different tactics um, that you can use. You can dispute, you can call. As far as that goes, the student loans being removed. I did a video. I did a video over this last night. That's on my business page, y'all. Look, stop trying to remove student loans. Even if they're derogatory, they're probably the oldest account that's on your credit. And if it's defaulted, get it out of Kavers. So for some of you guys who, when your student loans close and they go into default, they go into a system called Kavers, which is you're not getting anything out of Kavers. I don't care if it's off of your credit. It means absolutely nothing when it is a defaulted student loan. Your only options are to pay the debt off in full if you got it. I don't have $20,000 sitting around. Mine is a lot lower than every client that I've ever had. So pay it off. You can rehabilitate the loan. You can call the collection agency, ask them for a loan rehabilitation. It's 9 monthly payments, 9 on-time monthly payments, and then they'll basically close out the loans and get you with a new provider. And then the last option is student loan debt consolidation. It takes 60 days to complete the process, and you'll be given a different provider at that time. But removing them will re-age your credit profile, and your credit score will absolutely drop, and it's going to take a while for it to be to increase. Not necessarily to increase, it's going to take a while for it to recover and then build past it. Credit age is the biggest portion of your credit score. So I don't like to remove student loans personally. I apologize, you guys. It's not something that I like to remove personally or whatever. For clients, if I can get them, fixed, because there are errors that are reporting there that are true errors, and it could, sometimes it's at the fault of I'm going to say the servicer, but sometimes it's really the fault of the credit bureaus. I personally disputed something with one of my student loans, and I think I had questioned the fact that it was like a NR, which is not reporting. And instead of them putting the on-time payment, because I'm locked into an income-driven repayment program, to where I have like a very specific payment that I have to make. They, instead of it being there, it said NR, and then it was 90 days late. As it was a nightmare trying to get that fixed, and it was not on the servicer, it was on the credit bureaus. But instead of saying, oh, I'm just going to remove the account, I would rather have that one error corrected. I don't like removing student loans, you guys, period. I don't understand the mindset behind wanting to have it removed, being that credit age is going to be the biggest portion, or one of the biggest portions, for your credit being high anyway. KP, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm here. You can hear me.
Is that the last one?
Last one. Somebody else said. Report and showing 4 months on my campaign, but it's closed. It's like it closed.
If it closed positively,
Playboy.
If it closed positively, I wouldn't touch the account. You obviously cannot get that account reopened. But if that's the self card, reach out to one of the bank executives and tell them, like, you don't know what happened. It had to have been closed in error, and you want to open up a new card. But don't talk to somebody in general customer service, talk to an executive. You know, get on a first name basis with somebody that's in management, and explain the situation to them. You might have a better chance at getting the account reopened, or not reopened, but getting a new account started. But don't try to remove that account either, because that'll be there for 10 years, positive history. So yeah.
Question. Can you clear?
What?
That was it.
That was the first time you said something and you didn't even chop up like all the way through.
Oh, it was.
Never mind. What'd you say? No, never mind. Go away. Go back off.
This is
All right.
wonderful Wednesday.
We got through all of the questions and we still got 10 minutes. And y'all, that's all I got. Like, I got some tasks and stuff to work on and finish up for the academy. But next Wednesday, I'm not going to be here. You ain't asking me nothing. Don't call me. I'm not coming back ever. This is it, y'all. I'm done. I'm out finito. I'm done.
And Christy. Christy, we all.
Well, luckily, I didn't hear nothing you just said, so I'm gonna smile and grin because I feel like you trying to be funny and bring Andrew into this. And y'all not gonna be snitching on me today.
Hey, help.
Marcus, I will get that over to you today. I gotta add some verbiage into the contracts. And then I will get all the login details and stuff. I will get that sent over to you as soon as I can. Once I get this contract corrected, okay? He had tagged me on the status and everything. Dang, Marcus. Look, I saw you in the inbox, but I was like, let me not do this 550 different things. But I got you. I'm gonna get everything over to you today. So you guys, I don't know if you guys can see the screen down at the bottom, but we do have a special guest. We're going to start having special guests come on every single or every other week or whatever the schedule is. They're going to create, or pick the days that they want to come on. So we'll start doing that. This will cover a lot of different industries. This will not be just, specific to credit. We want to cover entrepreneurship, kind of in its totality. We do want them to come on and give you guys kind of insight about what they do, a little bit more. I am definitely open to having more people in the credit industry come in. Like we always say, this is a no competition zone. So, it really isn't. Me and KP, obviously, we operate in the same industry, and it's brother-sister relationship with me and him. It's more than enough people out here for all of us to have clients and not be in competition and not tear each other down and things like that or whatever. So we want to make sure that we are connecting you guys with people that we feel that could be, beneficial to you. Look, KP, I'm over here trying to read messages and stuff. Like, bro, what are you doing? I cannot. And now a word from our sponsor. Me. I cannot. You look, y'all, this is so unorthodox. Stop blaming KP. This is his fault. So everybody left me. So I hope y'all enjoyed today's show. If I did not answer everybody's question, blame KP as per usual. It's his fault. It's always his fault. Yeah, I think I can only see the Facebook comments, KP. So I don't know if you got, I don't know. I don't know if you got all the other platforms. So if you guys can see KP in the comments, he's saying thank you for joining and all that jazz. That's our official closeout. All right, you guys, that's all we got for today. Okay. What?